going on, everybody? My name is DJ SKD. Doing a little video here, actually a redo of a video I did like 3 years ago. It was how to clean and maintain a VCI 300. This is a VCI 300 Mark II. It's basically their newer version of it. They actually have a 400 now, and they're coming out with a 380. So I'm actually curious to look at those. But anyways, so in my last video, it was kind of dark, and yeah, the audio wasn't good, the video wasn't good, and a lot of people complained. So I figured I'd make a new one on how to clean and fix your VCI 300. Since I've done it, there's been a lot of videos posted of people doing it, but since I was the first, which I was the first, I'm gonna make a new one right now. So yeah, I guess I'll start walking you through it. First thing you need to do is crack the sucker apart. It's pretty easy. All you need is a Phillips head, small one, preferably, nothing too big, because you might strip the whatchamacallit, threads or head. But what you need to do, pull this thing apart, basically crack the bottom off of the unit. It comes apart pretty easily. The main reason I'm doing this, and like I explained in my other videos, the problems that you might have are basically the problem I'm getting right now is what I got before. You're spinning the bladder, and it's not reading you. It's like flashing red, blue, and it's barely picking up your hand. Problem is the terminals inside need to be cleaned. That's what we're going to dive into. Another problem, which I mentioned in my other video, was a potentiometer basically being one of these sensitivity adjustments. If you have an MK2, I doubt that's the issue, but if you have a Mark I or the first generation, it could be one of these potentiometer in here, and you can replace them at Radio Shack. I explained that in my last video, and I'm not going to go into it again. So anyways, I'm getting there. Should have probably just done this before I did everything else, but whatever. So again, other problems you could be having is the crossfader. The crossfader might need to be clean. Up faders might need to be clean. There's many reasons why you might need to be pulling this thing apart. And again, if you got any problems, don't be afraid to take this thing apart. It's pretty easy to do. So I think I'm ready to tear this thing apart. This is what it looks like, all torn apart, and with this front platter removed. Right here, kind of what it looks like in the front. This is what it looks like behind. Pulled it off, and this is what you get. Another thing to keep in mind: do not lose these little baby springs, because you'll be very fucking pissed if you do. I suggest working in a pretty clean environment. I'm on my dining room table, which I guess works, as long as there's not a bunch of shit around you, or on the floor. Basically, where if you drop one of these little nuts or springs or something, you can pick it up and be just fine. So once you get all that pulled apart, now the next thing I'm going to do is crack open this little spindle platter thing. All it is 4 Phillips screws again, and almost there. There it is. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of shit in here. So hopefully I can get some footage of this. Right in here, as you can see, I just pulled this case off of here. This is that contact. It's basically just a little metal. Holy shit, this is dirty. It's just a little metal contact that rides along this wheel here. It's a golden spindle, and it is dirty as fuck. So what you need to do is, I'm going to actually grab, I don't have it right now, oops, I have Q-tips, and use a little alcohol, clean it off. Whatever you do, do not disturb this little wheel here. This is the sensor that reads exactly where it is, so you have that precise timing with the platter. Alright, little Q-tips, pretty easy. Some alcohol. And I'm just going to dip this in with just one end. You don't want to use a bunch of it, and make sure it's kind of dry so it doesn't leak all over everything. So just run this around here, get this all cleaned up. Now, one thing that was a debate in my last video is whether to re-lubricate this with special lubrication or electronic contact lubrication. I mean, it doesn't really matter. At least I don't think it really matters. I didn't do it with my other one. I'm not going to do it with this one. And you know what I mean? It's not like these are high-speed moving parts or anything like that. So no concerns there, I suppose. Take a look at that. That is all the dirt and grime blocking that contact. That is why you're not getting a nice solid connection when you put your hand on that platter. I'm not exactly sure how this thing works. I'm assuming it's some sort of ground sensing thing where you touch it and it makes a connection to the ground. I really don't know. It is interesting though. And I'm also curious to see once the new 400 comes out, or I'm sorry, the 300 or 380, that's what I meant, how similar these platters are going to be. Be curious to check that out. Just do one little final inspection here. Make sure this thing's nice and clean, make sure there's no debris anywhere else around it, and you're good to put it back together. So what you need to worry about here putting it back together is all these friggin' wires everywhere, and that little contact in there, you need to kind of like slide it over the spindle so it goes on nice and easy. Let's see if I can do this correctly. These wires are friggin' everywhere, so unfortunately you can't really see what I'm doing, but there's the spindle, and there it goes. Spindle just clicks on just like that. Make sure you're not pinching any wires, and you're good to reinstall your assembly as this goes. So I'm going to do this on my own time, but it's pretty straightforward. I definitely recommend doing the other side while you have it all taken apart, regardless of what side it is. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. Once you bolt it all back together, give it a test. I'll post a little video of me testing it out, and should work just swimmingly. So feel free to post any comments. Make sure you guys subscribe. I promise I'll post some more videos of some mixes and things. I haven't posted much of this, just been working too much, so I'll do some more videos with the new turntable setup I got back there. I'm all set up now, ready for some videos and stuff, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and keep watching. Thanks.